Beatrix is a sleep coach, professional speaker, and author of the Sleep Deep method. Having struggled with insomnia and having burnt herself out in her mid-20s, she spent the last 10 years researching sleep and learning that in order for us to sleep well at night, we need to look much deeper than just how tired we are and the numbers of hours we sleep. She believes that sleeping well at night is a skill that we can all develop. Please welcome to the stage, Beatrix Schmidt.
So how did you sleep last night? Great. Some slept really well, some not so well. But of course, each and every one of us is slightly different when it comes to sleep. And my second question is, how energized did you feel when you woke up this morning? Okay, some nods this way, some nods that way. So again, it shows our individuality when it comes to sleep. When I used to struggle with my insomnia, that meant that I used to have real trouble getting to sleep. And I used to wake up right around the 2-3 o'clock in the morning with bleeding nose at night, consistently, because that's how exhausted my body got to by the time I really struggled. And of course, when I woke up in the morning, I really didn't feel very energized at all, dragging myself through the day and not really feeling like I've achieved a lot. And if somebody struggles with insomnia, this is quite typical for them to go through. Is this cycle of 24 hours, and it's just not getting better. So if you're struggling, you will be familiar with this picture. But what I realized is that my GP wasn't able to help me. The sleeping tablets, which is at the time what was prescribed, didn't really help me. So I decided to look into how good sleep is and how I can make that happen. If you have struggled with sleep, I'm sure you have looked up some articles about how you can overcome insomnia and your sleep problems. And I'm sure you have come across articles like this: sleep like a baby every single night. These are the articles I came across with at the time as well. But the advice didn't seem to relate to me. Going to bed at 10 o'clock didn't really seem good within the lifestyle that I had at the time. And when I looked at babies, this baby seems very peaceful, but there are babies who's not so peaceful. And wake up in the middle of the night screaming and shouting and asking for their mums. And if you're a mum, you're probably very familiar with that picture too. So instead of looking at all those general articles, I started asking myself the question, what does great sleep mean to me? And I would invite you to think about that question for yourself as well. Whether or not you're a good sleeper or not so good sleeper, what would great sleep mean to you personally? And when you look at sleep, there's 4 different pillars to sleep, which a lot of people don't quite think about. So the first is your ability to be able to switch off in the evening. So does it take you 5 minutes to get to sleep? Maybe 15? Or in insomnia sufferers' cases, often it takes even hours. The second one is your sleep undisturbed? So do you wake up in the middle of the night? And if you do, how long does it take for you to get back into sleep again? That's pillar number 2. Number 3 is how energized do you feel when you wake up? And how easily do you wake up both physically and mentally as well? The 2 can be quite different. And the 4th pillar is how able are you to maintain your energy levels during the entire day, achieving all the things that you want to achieve within your working hours and within your awake hours. So when you look at your sleep and look at improving your sleep or overcoming sleep problems, overcoming insomnia, often it's a great way for you to start breaking down this big, massive picture of sleep that we kind of don't really know much about. So pick the pillar that you struggle with the most and start looking at practical ways to improve it. This is how I started to overcome my insomnia, is I started looking at little things that I can do, rather than changing every single thing that I needed to change within my 24 hours. So a couple of statistics about sleep. Unfortunately, more and more of us struggle for various different reasons. 1 in 3 of us, it's estimated, that struggle with sleep. And whether on it's a couple of nights of not so good sleep for a couple of weeks, or full-blown insomnia, in some of my clients' cases, sleeping 5 hours a night broken, that's the range that we talk about. About 200,000 working days are lost. And this comes from organizations. But if you know someone who runs their own business, how does that impact their small business? How much work or productivity they lose because they're not sleeping so well? And 12 million prescriptions of sleeping tablets were written in 2017. So that really shows the scale of the problem that we have. And sleeping tablets are now being discouraged. So I see that these numbers will probably start increasing because people will not have those sleeping tablets to use to really help themselves. Which is why I'm really passionate about starting to educate people about sleep and give them practicalities that they can just pop into their days and they can start improving their sleep and overcome insomnia. And there are many different practical ways we can do that. So the methodology that I put together after my 10 years of research looks at 7 areas of life. And we won't go into all the 7, but I want to focus on the emotional side. And we all experience a wide range of emotions during our days, from frustration to happiness, excitement, nervousness, grief, and you name it. We've all got a range. But how does that impact your sleep on a daily basis? Of course, emotions will impact us. It will impact us physically. It will impact us many different ways. Our communication with other people, how we respond to someone who might be challenges an idea that we might have shared. So I want to give you 3 different things that you can do so you can start looking at how your emotions might be impacting your sleep and what you can do about it. Even if you still sleep well, how can you even improve your sleep more? So the first one is deal with your emotions in the day. Rather than pushing it down, not wanting to deal with it, often this is what happens when you get to bed, it's all quiet around you, and then those emotions come back and you start thinking about them. I'm sure you've all experienced that before. So deal with it. If you know that you had a day, just like for me yesterday when I was a little bit more under pressure about today's presentation, I had to make time to address that and really put into perspective about good scenarios that can come out of this and not so good scenarios that can come out of this. The second thing is focus on practicalities rather than the science. A lot of people that I come across with look at, oh, how many minutes of REM sleep did I have last night? Or did I have all the right sleep stages in the particular order that I should have them so that I can experience that great sleep? The problem is nobody, as far as I know today, can train you to have the exact amount, the exact range of sleep stages. So why not looking at practicalities? Did I get to sleep easy? Did I sleep through the night without disturbances? Did I wake up energized? And how energized did I wake up? And the third one is personalize rather than generalize. Please don't spray lavender-scented oils on your pillow if you hate the smell of lavender. Because, again, going back to articles, how many times have you heard that lavender is going to fix all sorts of sleep problems? But it's not really the case. Of course, it impacts our emotions because it will have a calming effect, but it's not a fix for everything. So these are the 3 things I wanted to share with you, and just take one of them away and see how that relates to your sleep and how you can overcome your sleep problems with that particular tip. And as I say, sleeping is a skill that you can develop too. Sleeping well is a range of skills that can help you to not just sleep better, but achieve a lot more during the day. And the only exception to that rule is if you have an actual sleep disorder. So if you're unsure, go and seek help, because you don't want to be using tips that actually don't relate to your sleep problem. Thank you.